In the 3rd year of the reign of King Jehoiakim of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, besieged Jerusalem and took some of the articles from the temple of God. Among the captives were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The king ordered that they be trained in the Babylonian language and literature for 3 years. However, Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the king's food and wine. He asked for vegetables and water instead, and God gave him and his friends knowledge and understanding. They were found to be 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters in the kingdom. King Nebuchadnezzar had a troubling dream that none of his wise men could interpret. He demanded that they tell him both the dream and its interpretation, or they would be executed. Daniel prayed to God, who revealed the dream and its meaning. In the dream, there was a great statue with different parts made of various materials: gold, silver, bronze, iron, and clay. Daniel interpreted the dream as foretelling the rise and fall of 4 kingdoms, with a final kingdom, God's eternal kingdom, that would destroy all others. Nebuchadnezzar praised Daniel's God and promoted him to a high position. King Nebuchadnezzar built a giant golden image and commanded all people to worship it. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Daniel's 3 friends, refused to bow down to the idol. In anger, Nebuchadnezzar threw them into a blazing furnace. However, when he looked into the fire, he saw 4 figures walking, and the 4th appeared to be divine. The 3 men were unharmed, and Nebuchadnezzar praised their God, issuing a decree that no one should speak against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Nebuchadnezzar had another dream of a great tree that was cut down. Daniel interpreted the dream, warning the king that his pride would lead to his downfall and that he would live like an animal for 7 years. The king refused to heed Daniel's warning, and a year later, God caused him to lose his sanity and live like an animal until his period of madness was over. When his sanity was restored, Nebuchadnezzar praised God, acknowledging his sovereignty over all kingdoms. King Belshazzar, Nebuchadnezzar's successor, hosted a feast and used the sacred vessels from the Jewish temple. A mysterious hand appeared and wrote a message on the wall: Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin. Daniel interpreted the message. God had numbered Belshazzar's reign and brought it to an end. He had been weighed and found wanting, and his kingdom would be divided. That very night, Babylon was conquered by the Persians, and Belshazzar was killed. Under King Darius, Daniel was appointed to a high position in the government. Jealous officials plotted against him, convincing the king to issue a decree that no one could pray to any god except the king for 30 days. Daniel continued to pray to God 3 times a day. As a result, he was thrown into the lion's den. However, God sent an angel to shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel was unharmed. Darius, seeing this miracle, praised God and issued a decree that all people should revere the God of Daniel. In the 1st year of King Belshazzar's reign, Daniel had a vision of 4 great beasts rising from the sea. The first was like a lion, the second like a bear, the third like a leopard, and the 4th was a terrifying beast with iron teeth. The beast represented 4 kingdoms. Afterward, Daniel saw the Ancient of Days, God, sitting on his throne, and a figure like a son of man, representing Christ, was given authority over all the nations. This vision foretold the rise of God's eternal kingdom, which would destroy all other kingdoms. Daniel had a vision of a ram with 2 horns, representing the Medo-Persian Empire, and a goat with a single horn, representing the Greek Empire. The goat's horn was broken, and 4 smaller horns grew in its place, representing the division of the Greek Empire after Alexander the Great's death. A little horn that arose from one of the smaller horns symbolized a king who would persecute the Jewish people. Daniel was troubled by the vision, but the angel Gabriel explained it to him. Daniel prayed for his people, confessing their sins and asking for God's mercy. In response, the angel Gabriel delivered the prophecy of the 70 weeks, which foretold the coming of the Messiah and the events leading up to the end of time. The prophecy mentioned that after 69 weeks, the Messiah would be cut off, and that the temple and the city would be destroyed. This prophecy was fulfilled through the coming of Jesus Christ and the destruction of Jerusalem. In the 3rd year of King Cyrus's reign, Daniel had another vision in which he saw a man clothed in linen. The man revealed that he had come to answer Daniel's prayer, but he had been delayed by the Prince of Persia. He explained that the spiritual battle between good and evil was taking place behind the scenes, and the angel Michael was assisting in the struggle. Daniel was encouraged to remain steadfast in his faith. The angel continued to explain to Daniel the conflicts between the kings of the north and south, which represented the Seleucid and Ptolemaic empires. The prophecy detailed the struggles, betrayals, and eventual rise of an evil ruler who would persecute the Jews. This ruler was often identified as Antiochus IV Epiphanes. The prophecy also spoke of the eventual defeat of this king by God's divine intervention. Daniel was told that there would be a time of great distress, unlike any before, but that God's faithful people would be delivered. The righteous would rise to everlasting life, while the wicked would be condemned. Daniel was instructed to seal the prophecy until the time of the end. The angel told Daniel that many would be purified, but the wicked would continue in their ways. Daniel was promised that he would rest and rise again at the end of days. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Subscribe our channel, All the Great Stuff, for more uplifting content.